Okay, welcome back, everybody. Did you all enjoy the World Cup? Yeah, Scotland did all right, didn't they? You know very well how Australia did, mate, and I don't want to talk about it. In fact, for being a smartass, you're on the bench, Cochrane. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to Queen of the South. It's Season 2, it's Episode 4 on the Impossible Dream as we look to win the Champions League with our Scottish club. And today, we return from the Winter World Cup, from the break from the Winter World Cup. We're going to be playing Livingston and St Johnstone, I think it is. So those are two big games. We saw last episode, didn't we? A little bit of a fall away in our form. Hopefully, the break has done us good, and we'll come back in full strength for this one. Now, a little bit to catch you up on. First of all, the World Cup. We'll get to that in just a second. But we've had our youth intake preview and a 3.5-star rated intake, which is, I'm not quite sure exactly, how that compares to others, because we've only had the one last year and it was poor. But it looks like we've got two good fullbacks and two good strikers or forwards. I'm assuming that means strikers, judging off the fact that it says strikers there, but it doesn't actually say. Yeah, it just says forwards, which could technically be inside forwards, couldn't it? But anyway, let's not dwell on it. So we could have a couple of good players coming through. That is the main thing, and that is let's hope that we get good players. And I'm not sure what an A is going to come out to in terms of star ratings and compared to the rest of the the senior squad. But we'll look forward and seeing exactly what that comes through. And the other I just want to update you on is from last year's youth intake. If you go and have a look at squad. Now, we do have, we've got Hunter and Cowie down there for first team, also just to play football, because they're still young. But the two that came through last year that were potentially decent players are developing quite nicely. Jack McLeod is a right back. You can see they're physically pretty good. Tackling is coming along. He's looking as though he might be useful. And the other one is Joe Hardy, the midfielder. And he is, again, I'm still not completely convinced by them. He doesn't have great passing, but they're both training on okay and looking as though they may be decent players. And Bailey Dull is someone who we had signed from another team, Inverness, whatever they called. So he's just, he's just down there going through his development. So there is a little bit in the under-18s team. Not too much, but there is a little bit. So this brings us to the World Cup. There's no point trying to hide the result because it's here, it's there. I've tried hiding it before and I always forget something. So Spain are your world champions. They beat France 2-1 in the final. So we can see the final there. It was Laporte and Asensio with the goals for Spain. Griezmann with an equaliser early in the second half that was very quickly cancelled out. Though it looks off those match ratings. No, that's right. Yeah, Spain had the better players. That would make sense since they won. And so there we go. It looks like they absolutely dominated the final though too, doesn't it? But let's go and have a look at the tournament as a whole. And if we have a look at the group stages, it was a decent tournament for Scotland. They got out of a group top with the eventual winners and Brazil. So well done, Scotland. That is surely the best World Cup in their history because it's shocked me. You think of some of the players, especially in the 70s, that the Dalglishas and whatnot that Scotland have had that they've never really, from what I understand, done that well in a World Cup. But Jamaica had a good tournament as well. They got through against Croatia. Senegal and Belgium went through. Portugal and Colombia. Germany out in the group stages. That's a bit of a shock, though. A very tough group they had there with Colombia and Portugal. Nigeria and Holland got through. Look at that. Syria beating Argentina. Unbelievable. Let's not worry about the next group. Norway and Uruguay. Uruguay beating Australia. England and Italy going through. And France and Sweden getting out of a group with US and Japan. That's actually quite a tough group as well, isn't it? So let's go and have a look and see what happened then in the second round. And this is unfortunately where Scotland fell to Jamaica of all teams. That's surely got to be a disappointment. Spain knocked out Croatia. Senegal and knocked out Colombia. Portugal extra time over Belgium. Nigeria knocked out Uruguay. Holland knocked out Norway. England 3-2 over Sweden, and France knocked out the Italians. Let's go to the quarterfinals. Spain through against Portugal in a classic. Jamaica against Senegal. So Jamaica going all the way to the semis. It is France knocking out Nigeria and England on penalties against the Dutch. That's two bald men fighting over a penalty comb, isn't it? So then France, Jamaica's dream run really did come to a crashing end. Spain knocked out England. The third place playoff, it was England 2-1 over Jamaica. There's always one team, isn't there, that sort of comes from nowhere to get deep in the tournament like that. And then, as we've seen, France knocked out Spain in the final. Liam Kelly, who was Scotland's goalkeeper, 3 clean sheets in the tournament. And yeah, just not embarrassing. You don't say it's embarrassing because Jamaica went a long way, but surely you'd like to have thought that they could have won that. Let's have a quick update of getting back to Queen of the South things. Now, there has been a few games since we stopped playing for our winter break. There was a few games for everybody to catch up on, and we have entered or exited the winter break in the European spots, which was a shock to us all. Motherwell, though, still do have 2 games in hand, potentially 6 points, which is potentially 14 total. Are they going to get that? Possibly unlikely. It looks as though at least one of those games is against Rangers, doesn't it? So it would be unlikely, but we're not. I don't think we're quite as comfortable as we could be, but we've played a lot of these top teams recently, and we're going to have today, well, we've got Livingston and St Johnstone, so we sort of have a team above us and a team below us. You'd like to think we've got enough. 5 wins. If we win as many as we lose this season, we're going to be safe, and we will actually probably be very close to Europe, depending on how many draws are in there as well. So first up today, it is Livingston. Let's have a look and see what we're doing against them. We're expecting a 4-2-3-1 formation, and this is the team that we are sending out. So Eastwood in goal, Hendry, Iakoviti, Olafunwa, and Bradley, who we signed on loan from Liverpool, you may remember. He is a Northern Ireland international, and he is back fit. So he's going to come in and play right wing back for us. Morton is going to come in and play deep lying playmaker, another one that we had on loan from Liverpool. We have on loan from Liverpool. Klopp was complaining he wasn't playing enough, or was he playing in the wrong role? Either way, he's going to be in for this one. That means Goss and Williams are going to be in midfield. Cochrane, well, he's injured for this one. He's got a virus, I think, but he would have been on the bench anyway. Just not completely convinced by him. Tevez, Patton, and Cassidy. Roy is not making the step up, so he's been benched. You'll notice that Connolly is unhappy. He wants initially agreed playing time. The problem is that Tevez plays in his best position, and as good as he is, or thinks he is, he's no Carlos Tevez. So we're going to look in January. I'm going to actually look to cash in on him, even though his contract still has a bit of time to go. There might be some value there for us. And the other one we're going to try and cash in on is Fitzpatrick. Again, we might get a little bit of value, though. The sort of teams that are interested in the Championship club, so we probably won't get 240 for him, but we'll see what happens. He just doesn't quite fit into the way we're playing. And if we were to look to sign a winger, he would be decent, but I still think we could maybe, hopefully anyway, do a little bit better. So that's the team we're sending out. Let's see if we can get ourselves back on track here. All right, so we can see the team sheets. there. Ladapo, maybe that is. That's a great name. All right, what do we want to say to this? And speaking of getting back on track, we did in the sort of run up to these games coming back in. We obviously played some friendlies. We're sick and tired of getting bad results. Yeah, let's go and get a win here, boys. We did organise friendlies. We got a couple of glamour friendlies. We got both the Glasgow teams. And we also got Manchester United to Palmerston Park as well. So we've got a couple of money spinners there, and that has really helped the finances. We were almost, I think we played Huddersfield away as well, which was a bit of a money spinner for us. So we're just not quite back to breaking even, despite the fact we didn't play a game, and the cross for Patton is blocked on the way through to goal. So yeah, that's really helped us financially. So we should be looking very good now come the end of the season, because we've got... we're going to have a lot of games coming up, which will obviously include some home games, which will get money coming back into the club through gate receipts. And yeah, so we should be absolutely fine. Prize money at the end of the season. And like I say, even if we go down at bottom of the league, we're still going to be in a position where we're going to have just over £1 million in prize money. So we should be looking good. Goss gets it forward, but not to anybody in particular. Iakoviti clears it. Can Bradley win that back for us on a booking as well? It is his debut for us. He signed with us, deadline day last window. Now, we're not paying him any wages. Is that a penalty? We're not paying him any wages, so the fact he sat around is not a problem. But, he's almost got to the next transfer window before he's played a game. Now, can Eastwood make a save? No, he goes early and goes the right. He doesn't look good facing a penalty, does he? And we fall behind at Livingston, 1-0. And are we going to pick up where we left off in terms of our bad form? Now, should that we didn't just play the big teams. We also had friendlies against Linfield and against Wrexham, I think it was. So they were sort of morale-boosting wins for us, which we had to do, obviously. We didn't lose that bad. Actually, we might have even drawn Rangers or Celtic, I think. I didn't pay that much attention. Tevez with a corner, and it's headed over by Olafunwa. We didn't get smashed. I think Man United beat us 3-0, but they scored twice in stoppage time, which was annoying, because 1-0 against Man United would obviously be a very decent result for us. And yeah, the two Glasgow teams didn't blow us away at all. We might have even beaten Huddersfield, actually. I can't remember. The result doesn't really matter. It was about fitness and getting some money into the club. So that was what it was. We are currently sitting 6th, and we're struggling. We're struggling to create too much here, aren't we? All right. I think we're unlucky to be behind. You've done nothing wrong. We can get on board with that. Pump our fists. Say, go out there and prove it, whatever it is you're trying to prove. And we might just tweak things tactically. We will look to lower the tempo, look for those overlaps, and see if that works for us here. Hopefully, we can trust Bradley not to get himself a second booking, though time will tell on that front, won't it? They're looking motivated, which is half the battle. But there's not too much that's happening here, is there? Let's maybe look to exploit the middle. I forget what I was doing before. I don't think I was exploiting the middle. Try and get Tevez involved. Goss, Williams are in there. Morton as the deep-lying playmaker will hopefully have a say in something here. Ball in, headed away. Picked up by Bradley. He gets it wide for Tevez. Can he whip in a secondary ball here? It's a decent one. Again, it's cleared away. It's going to get picked up by Morton. And what can he do? Takes his time. Olafunwa. Forward there. Here we go. Bradley. He's got a little bit of space in front of him if he can use his pace. He does. Into that space he goes, and it's a terrible cross. What is that? It's like he was trying to pick out the Livingston defender. And Bradley don't get... Oh, he does well. He does really well. Can we go back the other way now? Williams. Tevez. Can Tevez thread a pass? He goes back to Morton. Morton. I'm not quite sure what that was. Tevez again. Goss for Cassidy. Wide for Hendry. He gave away the penalty. Can he make up for that? This is some nice passing. Bradley. Ball in. Patton, is he onside? He's hit the crossbar. Oh, that was unlucky, wasn't it? Very, very unlucky. Considering they've had a penalty, their XG is just over 1. That is, Cassidy's not having a good game. We're really struggling to get that striker that scores consistently for us. Let's get Ali Roy off the bench. Goss, Williamson aren't playing well. We've got Farouk on the bench. I don't really want to take any of them off because they are our better players. Can we get anything going here? All right, let me think. All right, so we're going to make one sub. Hendry's not playing well. He's on a booking, so we're going to get DeBayo on. We know that he can deliver a decent cross. So let's see if he can do that. Let's tell him maybe to focus. Maybe a demand more would have been a decent shout. It's so typical of our season, isn't it? We've been the better team and we can't find the back of the net for love nor money right now. We have one more sub we can make. Williams is not having a good game, so we'll take him off. We'll get Furyk on. And that's all the subs done. Let's try that demand more. Let's try whipping some early crosses in. And what have we got here? A free kick. Goss has the ball. And we don't see anything. Oh dear. We might live to be very, very thankful for that amazing run of form. Was it in September or late September, early October? Because the goals have dried up. Yeah, sometimes results don't go your way. I mean, we were the better team, it feels like. But it feels like I'm saying that every game now, doesn't it? We were the better team, but we couldn't get the result. But it's very, very close. Motherwell drew St Johnstone. That's who we're playing next, so maybe we can get a result there. But we lose ground in race to qualify for Europe. I mean, right now, I feel like I've forgotten about Europe and I'm just worried about staying in the league again. And, yeah, that's not where we want it to be, is it? Guys, wait right there. We'll be back to face St Johnstone. They're sitting third, so it doesn't get much easier, does it? Okay, welcome back. Here we are, Thursday night football. We're at St Johnstone, or I think it's actually Perth, isn't it, St Johnstone? Anyway, just beside the point. We are outside the European places. We are in terrible, terrible form. We have ignored the friendlies there, but we've now lost 3 in a row. We haven't scored a goal in 4, and we've played a bunch of away games in a row here. So we've got some home games coming up, which is hopefully going to help us. But we did get a draw against Rangers. You can see the friendly results there. Well, yeah, I'm not quite sure where the next goal's coming from, to be honest. So we're expecting a 5-3-2-1. Alfie McCormont is there. Is that the guy from Leeds? It is, isn't it? Anyway, let's have a look here and see what we are doing. We have made some changes. It is Eastwood in goal. DeBayo's going to play left wing back, and DT comes in to partner Olafunwe, and Bradley will continue at right wing back. Morton, Goss, and Williams will stay in midfield. Tevez, it's going to be Connolly and Patton up top. Basically, I've chosen our top 2 goal scorers in terms of strikers, actually just generally speaking, and stuck them up front together. We'll see what happens. All right, so we can see the team sheet. Pochettino on the bench for them. That's a surprise, isn't it? But yeah, there's some Kane. If just to look at last names, Kane, Rooney's there as well. There's some big names on their team. But anyway, I expect nothing but a win. I mean, maybe we go with that. Can we fist pump? I expect nothing but a win to end these bad results. We've demotivated Olafunwa. That's got him back on board, so that's good. Let's point our fingers. Make me proud, boys. Come on, get out there. All right, and here we go from behind a very poorly placed camera. All right, this is a big game, isn't it? We desperately need to try and break the rot that we're in here. Even a score draw wouldn't be the worst thing. Ball in, and DT's there, and how did that miss? It looked in for all money. I don't know if it was high, wide, or both, but it looked good, didn't it? We do have Waiter on the bench. He was injured through the World Cup break, so he's got absolutely no match sharpness at all. We couldn't play him in any of the friendly games. So yeah, that's why he's on the bench, and then DT starting. Now, and DT was a very good, or maybe not very good, but he was very reliable for most of our promotion season last season. So, you know, he deserves a chance in the Premiership. St Mirren's beating Motherwell. That's maybe not a great result for us, because I'm pretty sure St Mirren are currently bottom. And I think we are now at the point with things just going a little bit wrong for us that we want we want the team bottom to stay bottom. We don't want them picking up any results on us. Corner to defend. McCalmont to take. It is in. Oh, we worked on defending corners and set pieces as well. It's a decent ball in. And DeBayo is there with, who else is there? Williams. Neither of them could get the jump. Let's try maybe a fire up. Williams is now looking anxious. And it has the feel of, I don't know where our next goal's coming from. Never mind our next result. Do we say we're not happy with that? Maybe we need to try and shake them out of this little funk that we've got ourselves into. And it all started with a pathetic 0-0 draw against St Mirren as well. Do we want to change anything? Tevez was a little tired. I put Hand or Hand on the bench in case. Let's see how they come out in this second half. I don't know whether I should be more demanding or more encouraging, or kind of maybe falling a little bit halfway between the two. There's a decent ball for DeBayo in there for Goss. We need a little bit of magic. Is that a penalty? DeBayo has it. DeBayo! That's our little bit of magic. Josh DeBayo smashes one in. And it's 1-1 early in the second half. And maybe they just needed a few home truths at halftime, saying that they weren't good enough. And within 3 minutes, they've proven they are good enough. Little bit of luck that it falls out, but DeBayo, no luck in that. That's a cracking shot, and it's 1-1. All right, let's build on this. Oh, we've got a kickoff highlight. Come on, don't do it to me. I'm in a very fragile state. We do have the January window coming up. Now, the issue we have with the January window... Oh, don't. The linesman's got his flag up, I think. The linesman has his flag up. Ref. There we go. Thank you. The problem with the January window, of course, is, as we know, we have no money to spend. If we can sell someone like Connolly or like Fitzgerald and try and fund a signing, what we're screaming out for is a striker, isn't it? All 4 of the guys we have right now have just gone ice cold. Here we go. Bradley's got some space. Can he whip across in now? Come on. There it is. Decent. Patton can't win it. Patton, who was scoring earlier on in the season. Tevez! Oh! The other potential solution is maybe we move Tevez up to a striker and give this... Oh, if it encourages that highlight starter, give Mhand a go as the number 10. There's a ball in. Patton. Oh, it's gone down to penalty. That's Connolly to take. I'd rather Tevez was taking it, mate. Come on, Connolly. He stuck it away. The goalkeeper had gone the right way. Connolly was unhappy. He wanted more first-team football, and if he keeps doing that, then he can have it. Excellent, excellent stuff. We have turned it around inside 15 minutes of this second half, and can we go on with it now? That is the big question, isn't it? This would be absolutely priceless for just morale as much as anything else. And we've deserved a result. We haven't been playing that badly, but how often do you see it? You know, like teams that aren't actually playing badly but can't get a result, and they suffer for it. Tevez is just not having a good day, so let's get Mhand out on the pitch. Maybe taking our captain off in hindsight is not the smartest thing I've done. But if he's not playing well, there's no point leaving him out there, is there? Surely. All right, Morton is looking tired. Let's get Furyk on for him. And if we have another sub, just because we do have a lot of games. Do we have a midfielder? We do. Spittle for Goss. Let's do Spittle for Williams, even though he's playing the better. Goss is left-footed on the left-hand side there, so that sort of keeps the balance in midfield. Now, one thing we shouldn't still be doing is attacking. Let's just go back to balance, guys. Just be a little bit more sensible here for me, please. Come on. Let's give them some praise. Try and build that confidence. We've got an overconfident Olafunwa. Let's shut it down. Okay, so we've closed the game down. Can we hang on to stoppage time? We didn't want any highlights. Pochettino with a throw. Ball in. Oh, it's away, but not very far. Bradley, go and close it down, mate. Stop that cross. He can't. It's... Oh, thank you. Thank you. Over the bar from McCalmont, I think it was. But that is a massive let-off. That's the sort of chances we've been missing. And we've got the win. We've got 3 points from somewhere. And I don't really care where it's come from as long as we've got them. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't our best performance, but it was glorious at the same time. So there we go, and just like that, we're back in the European places and looking up again. But Mother, it is tightening up a little bit at the bottom, isn't it? St Mirren have absolutely smashed Motherwell, which isn't ideal, but we've got those 3 points, which is huge. So we enter the Europa Conference League race. Tevez is set for an extra year, but of course he is retiring. His staff attributes aren't terrible for a National A licensed coach. So we will try and keep him around, not as a head of youth development, but as a youth coach. And it'd be good to keep him at the club, I think. So we'll do our best to do that. And Wheater's another one, actually. Wheater's coaching attributes, again, a National A license, not too bad. There's a couple of 8s and 9s there, and mentally he's fairly good. So another one that we will try and keep at the end of this year when his contract's up. I'm assuming he'll retire, and we'll try and keep him at the club as a coach. But guys, that is it for today. If you have enjoyed that, it was tense, wasn't it? But in the end, we got 3 points, and that is not the worst thing that could happen. I think this season has still got to be about just making sure we're in the division next year. If we could get into the championship, the top half of the split, that would be good because it takes the pressure off, and then you never know, maybe we could squeeze into a European spot. But I think if we were to go into Europe next year, I don't think we'd get very far, and if we did, we'd have to sacrifice it pretty much anyway, because I don't think we're going to have the squad depth. We just don't have the finances. You can see that we've really built the finances up with those friendlies, but we just don't have the finances to be able to have a squad of depth that is capable of competing top half-ish, let's say, of the Premiership, and then having midweek games in Europe as well. So it might actually be a blessing in disguise if we weren't to be in Europe next season, even though there would be a little bit of extra money in it for us. You know, you always want to be in Europe. You'd never say no to it, but it might hold us back. It might come a season too soon. But guys, that's it for today. I think what we'll do is we'll come back mid-January. Let's come back for Aberdeen, who are 9th, and Motherwell, who are currently bottom, because those are games that if we can win both of those, and we've got a couple of big ones also with teams down there, Dundee, Hibs, bottom half, Hearts are up around there with us. I think these next 4 games will give us an idea of where we stand, and then if we can then go and take some more points off Aberdeen and Motherwell, I think we can say we're safe then. We're beating the teams that are below us. It's the teams above us, and you'd expect us to be struggling with those, and that'll kind of set us up for the end of the season there. So that's all for next time, guys. Until then, I've been Aussie Villain. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.